Good morning, everyone. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Astrolarium. Today, I wanted to do a brief, not a tutorial necessarily, a brief kind of like overview about how I run my data through Siril. I just kind of show you how I go from stacking to a final image using Siril. I will also be using all of the free versions of different plugins. So instead of using the RC Astro exterminators, I'll be using ones by SyQon. I believe those ones are really good ones for free plugins, or the free versions are really good for free. I know that they also have paid versions that are pretty solid too, but yeah, I figured not everybody has the money to go out and get plugins for this. They're spending their money on the equipment first, which is what I would highly recommend. Get good equipment and focus on buying your equipment first before you go through and buy any like program and software for. So don't buy PixInsight first. Don't buy these plugins first. Go and get your good equipment. But I will say, after you get your equipment, there are trials to some of those paid softwares. I know there's a 45-day trial to PixInsight, along with 30-day trials for each of the exterminators. So if you get good equipment and you want to try those softwares out, you get a free trial off of them. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see here, I have Siril open, Siril 1.4.4. And before I do anything else, what you want to do is you want to set the repository, or the the home where you're pulling data from, where you're saving all your stuff while you're working on it. So you'll come up here to the top left to this blue house right here, change current working directory, give that a click, and then you'll find the folder. So I'm gonna play with the Crescent Nebula again, and then just click on it, click open, and that'll set your working directory to that area. So now, this is not the end-all be-all how you have to do it. This is just the way I do it. I think it works fairly well. It works really well for me. It seems pretty simple to me. You will need to download a couple scripts. So to download scripts, you'll come up to the script button up here at the top left again. Click it. Click Get Scripts. And then down here, you can see all of these. So you'll want to come through here. What you do is, I would recommend getting Prism and Parallax by SyQon. We're going to use StarNet for the starless, removing stars. So I use a lot of these. I would use, if you go to the processing category, go to nb_2_rgb.py.py. That'll be good for, it's good for combining your separated data. This is, since the way I stack it will separate HA and O3 along with S2 and O3. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to leave the sulfur 2 O3 data out, because I don't think it's necessary for just showing off the basics of this. So anyways, moving on, I also highly recommend GraXpert. You'll have to download that. I'll leave a link to the download in the description, and then you just open it, and then come through here, check it, click apply. And then I think that's really all. You don't need any of that. If you get GraXpert, you won't really need those. That's not necessary. No, that's necessary. Okay. And then up here, there is, you want to go to SiriLic. You want to get SiriLic. If you come to, hang on, give me just a second and I'll pull it up. Okay. So here is the GitLab for SiriLic, which is one of the plugins I use for stacking. It's a really good one. I like it a lot. And I'll show you why I like it a lot here in just a moment. But yes, you'll come to this. I'll leave the link to this in the description. And it's actually super simple. You just download the stuff up here. You put it somewhere you can easily access it. And then what you'll do is here's the installation instructions. You'll clone the repository on your computer or download the archive. I just clone it. You launch Siril, go up to that preference menu, click the script tab, and then what you can do is you'll enter, let's go back to Siril. Up here, you'll come over here and you'll enter your the repository to access that expert.py, which is what you'll see in the download. And then, click apply and it'll update and then you'll have access to it. So once you have access to it, what you do, now that we have all of that figured out, you'll come over here, go down to Python scripts, SiriLic, and click expert.py. Give that a second to load up. Okay, now that it is loaded up, what you'll do, you'll go over here, click new. It'll ask you for object name. I'm just going to name it Crescent Nebula. Number of sessions. I need to check my thing real quick. I can get rid of these sessions because they are garbage data. Perfect. I can also get rid of this. I believe I can get rid of this. Yep. Oh, I'm cleaning out. I'm deleting gigabytes of data here, which is good. Because it is open in Python. Oh, because that's the one I just created. Okay. All right, perfect. So once you do that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions. So 1, 2, 3, 4 number of sessions. Pardon me. And since I have a color camera, I come down here into the color section, and I used both an HA03 and an S203 filter. So once I have those two selected, if you only have one, you only select the one. So if you have just S203, just click that. If you just have HA03, just click that. I had both. So what I'll do, I'll come up into here, click both of them, and then click OK. So since I only had one night of S203, I will delete 3 of these nights and 1 of these nights, and that'll give me the 4 nights of data that I worked with. Now I gotta remember what night I shot the S203 with, because I am terrible at labeling things. Give me just a second. Now, once you have these all figured out and have figured out which nights you did what, if you're bad like me and forget to label things properly, you'll come over here and you'll click add images. So once you do that, you'll get this one right here. And then you'll go into add, click add. So this will be for your lights. I am not doing night 9. I'm starting with night 7. You'll go into your lights. With SiriLic, it's not as important to properly label each and every folder like I had in that night, and you'll see that when I get into some of the other nights. So I have biases, darks, flats, and lights. That's not necessary. not as necessary. Now, I still recommend doing it just because it keeps your data clear, concise, and you can find it fairly easy. Don't be me, be better about labeling your data. So offsets are just your biases. So you'll come into here, select all of the biases, and pop them in there. And then darks, throw them in there, and then your flats. And then your flats. Okay, and then once you have all of them in there, I'm not going to use dark flats, not necessary for this. So once you have all of them in there, you just click OK. And then as you can see, 78 image, 30 offsets, 15 darks, 30 flats. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I've got all of my images into each session, you'll want to come over here, and every time you'll click copy images in working directory, and it'll just take all of your images, compile them into a large folder, and then it'll use that folder to run the script. Sorry, I am stretching, I am tired. I've been up for a little bit already, and it's a brutal day already. I only had 1 cup of coffee. I just finished it right there. So I'll have to get my second one here while it's running the stacking. Anyways, now that it is finished, as you can see right here, you'll come over here, click build. Or actually, you might be able to click this. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. Okay, anyways, yeah. You'll come over here, you'll click build, and this one takes like half a second. Script building finished. And then once it is done that, you will go over here and start it by clicking run. And then this will start to go through each your biases, darks, flats, stack them all up, then stack all of your images, calculating with the calibration frames. This, for me, will take a while, so I'll be back as soon as it's done. And while it's happening, I'm going to go get me a second cup of coffee. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. It has been about 20 minutes, and it has completed. One thing I forgot to mention before starting the stacking is if you come back into SiriLic, click on Global Preferences, go to Compression, and do Rice Compression at Quantification 16 or 16-bit. That'll make the stacking go a lot faster. Now, I will say, when you're in Siril just doing some editing yourself, if you come up here to the little hamburger menu, click Preferences, wait for it to load. It's being incredibly slow. Go to Fits Options. I like to turn this off just in case I need to put it in literally anything else, because every other program has issues reading the Rice compressed files. So I just leave it like that. So as you can see here, so it looks like 6 failed, 326 registered for the HA03. Let's see, and then for yeah, if you could just read through this, read through all this, and it'll tell you each session, each group, give you a summary. So there's 3 CHO3 CHA3. There you go. So here we are, flat images. So yeah, for the S203, it was 61 registered, 2 that had failed. So they were all 2-minute subs. So not too crazy, not too bad for what it was. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is I like to go through each of the images and kind of just look at a quick auto stretch on them. So we have the S2, that is, so S203, the 03 version, the HA03, Okay, yeah. So here's the S2, the O3 for the S2O3, and then the HA, or no, this one's the O3, and this one's the HA for the HAO3. So if you open them up, you can click, whoop, come on now, auto stretch, and here you go. As you could tell, there's not a whole lot of sulfur signal with the Crescent Nebula, which is to be expected. So that looks about right. So what I want to do first and foremost, if I go back into that, open up one of the O3 ones, click open. It's already got an auto stretch applied to it, which is good. So this is the HAO3 one. Come up to image processing, go down to pixel math, and click add. And you'll add both the O3 for the S2O3 and the O3 for the HAO3. And then you click open, and so they're both in there. So O3 underscore HA, just to give them both a, and then O3 underscore S2. I don't actually know if that's the right one. Hang on. Will it tell me? I guess I could. Okay, so this one's technically the HA, that one's the S2. Let's just for, so that's the S2. Okay, let's do it like this. S2 HA. So what I like to do, O3 underscore HA times 0.75 plus O3 underscore S2, or yes, S2 times 0.25. That should work. That should get us a nice combination of both the O3 channels for both the dual narrowband filters that I have. So we'll go ahead and click apply. Close that out, and this is the combination of the S2O3 and the HAO3. So now what I like to do, I am going to go ahead and start working on this one first, since it's the one that's already open. So first and foremost, come up to image processing, background extraction. I don't tend to deviate from the default, but what I do, I click generate, and then I remove the red boxes that are all around the nebulosity. So I try to, that looks about good. So like right here, you could kind of see around the edges where the O3 shell would be. Got a dog barking in the background. Anyways, so once you have that, you'll click compute. Okay. And then apply, and yeah, so if I go back, that's what it looked like before. This is what it looks like after. So I think it did a pretty solid job. And I'm pretty happy with that. So next, actually what I should have done to start with is I'm going to crop it. Now for this, I don't know if there's a simpler way of doing this. I'm sure there is, and I just don't know it. I like to open a notes app on my phone. Open a notes app on my phone. And then what I'll do is, so you see how the edge here, it's got the stacking artifacts on it, and you can see it's very grainy, very noisy at the edges here. What I like to do is I just want to crop that off. So I'll come to about here. Let's do 40 by 40. Let's start with X40, Y40. So, and then I'll type what I'm starting in my phone with, X40, Y40 for the start. And then I'll come down to here. And go to about there. I think that's a good. So and then the stop is X 3727 and Y 2086. So now that I have those typed in, I will come up here, click crop. There we go. And now what I want to do, go into your Python scripts, go down to SyQon, and I believe I'm doing this correctly. It's been a minute since I've used either of those, so forgive me. I need to make sure I know which one's which. Okay, sorry about that. Got a little distracted. Now that it is open, you can, SyQon Parallax. That is your deconvolution. And as you can see, they have a nano version and a pro version. The nano version, I believe, is the free version. And obviously the pro is the paid version. So what we do here, I'm just going to leave it as that and kind of run the full image. What the frick? Hang on. I gotta install the free versions again, reinstall them. Okay, now that we have that, I installed, get all the models, go down here. There we go. Okay, now, so let's run full image now that it should be working. And then this will be, give it just a second to load. Shouldn't take too terribly long, so. I will also leave a link in the description for the free version of SyQon Parallax and the paths, so you can just click those in the description and go and download them. Okay, there we go. It is done. Okay, and as you can see, it did a little bit, and it's really those smaller stars. It really helped with, and the nebula is pretty good too. Yeah, it definitely helped a little bit. Like I said, it's no blur exterminator, which I really like, but it is pretty solid. It is a pretty solid program. So yeah, it's not too bad. So I can apply to Siril, and then go back and forth. Yeah. Okay. So now you want to go to back up the scripts, Python, SyQon, and then prism.py. I might have to re-download some of the paths for this as well, so bear with me here. Okay, so here is Prism, SyQon Prism. I need to, I do need to download it. So get the free models. I'll come over here and download those models, that model real quick. Okay, so do that, come over here. Oh, go back into up SyQon Prism-mini. Boom. Done. So now what you can do, so I just kind of want to right here, run preview. Yeah, look, so that actually worked pretty well. It actually worked really well. I'm actually really happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that, denoise the whole thing. And then it gives you a nice little before and after, just kind of like it did with the deconvolution. So you can see a nice denoising has been applied. Quite happy with it. And now you close that out. And there you go. So next, I'm going to remove the stars. And for this, you could just come up to image processing, star processing, starnet star removal, pre-stretch linear image, generate star mask is what you want. Don't recompose yet. We won't do that. And so you can then go ahead and click execute and give that a second to process. So something has gone awry, as you can tell. I am not entirely sure what happened, but let me try something. I'm going to set it back to a linear image, go up here to Python script, come down to Verilux, do the Verilux hypermetric stretch, and see if that changes anything. So when you're using this one, it is a really good tool. I like to use it a lot. I keep it in ready to use aesthetic mode. Over here to sensor calibration. So you're going to want to set this to whatever camera you have. So it's got the ZWO-C Star S30 and S50, and then a bunch of the different sensors. I keep it on the IMX 585 since I have an ASI 585, and it works great. So what I do, come down here to stretch engine and calibration. I don't really change any of these. I just click auto calc log D, and it'll do that. And then you could click live preview, and it gives you this. So it's not too bad. It's still a little odd. I'm not sure what the deal is, but let's go with that. So process, close that out. And then what I sometimes like to do, just to continue to ensure, I go to stretches, histogram transformation, and I just ever so slightly pull it back. Click apply, close it out. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this to the other images, and I will be back as soon as those are done. Okay, now that we're done with that, I am going to come back up here to scripts, go to processing, and then I will click the narrowband to RGB.py. Once that opens up, move it onto the screen, it keeps doing that. So you'll select your HA and your O3 image. I decided not to mess with the S2 image because it's not really, it's not a whole lot to it. So come up here, select your starless HA. I like to name everything very, very much so, just so I have it all together. And then starless O3. I like to drop the stretch down. You can do it like this, and then click preview combined image. And as you can see, that actually looks pretty good. I might bump the stretch just a little bit, drop the HA to O3 ratio. There we go. I think I like it like that. No, keep the stretch at 0. It's better. Okay, anyway, so once you're happy with how you want it, you just click send preview to Siril. And once that's done, close out of it, and boom, here you go. It is right there. So now, what I like to do, come up here, color calibration, and I like to come find what should be a pretty dark area. Use current selection, background neutralization. Didn't really do a whole lot. I still struggle with this one a little bit. So forgive me. But then highlight the entire nebula, use current selection, apply. Kind of helps bring out what you want in it. That actually looks pretty solid, other than, God, that just blue noise really irritates me. I don't know why it struggles so much more in Siril with the noise, because I don't feel like there was that much noise when I processed this in PixInsight, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like maybe I just did it differently and I wasn't paying too close attention to how I did it this time. That's on me. So let me try like over here. It's a little better. It's a little better. Okay. Click. Okay, so it's already all done. Now that you got that, it is still a fairly noisy image. So let me come back up here, Python scripts, SyQon Parallax, or no, Prism. I wanted Prism, not Parallax. Python, SyQon, Prism, not Parallax. Get rid of that. Give it a second. Okay, that's much nicer. Let's denoise like that. Yes, I know I'm at a strength of 100%, but at this point, I don't care. Okay, perfect. Much nicer, much nicer. Close that out. I don't know, that might be a little bit plasticky now. Okay, well, let's try the color calibration again. So do that, use current selection, background neutralization, do this, use current selection, apply, that way. Okay. Now you can mess with the coloring a little bit. So I like to image processing color saturation. Drop the global. No, not really. Anyways, let's just kind of mess with some stuff here. Actually, what I want to do first, stretches, curves, transformation. Not curves, gosh darn it. I am having a day today. Good Lord. Stretches, general hyperbolic. Come up here, inverse. Now, set the symmetry point, and what you could do is this. Kind of lower that. You can also specifically target the blues. Okay, so if you click apply, so it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay. So say I want to leave it like that. I think that looks fairly decent of a background. Now come up to color calibration. So say I want to make those blues pop a little bit more. So cyan blue, blue magenta. Sometimes I have to kind of hop back and forth. What I'll do is that. Okay, so it looks like it's under the cyan. So cyan, you can pop the saturation on it. Don't oversaturate it. Honestly, that's not half bad. Click apply. And then you come back up, do it again. The pink, red, red, orange. You know, obviously you try to overdo it, it kind of looks really bad. So, you know, just kind of mess with it until you're happy with what you see. But anyways, yeah, so just kind of mess with it until you're happy with what you see. And then you come up here, go ahead and save it to whatever you want. Starless underscore RGB.fit. Save it as a fits file. Save it up. 16-bit and save. Oh, and the cropping is crucial for this because the images have to be the exact same dimensions or it just doesn't work right. So just make sure you get that cropping right. But now you'll go back into processing the narrowband RGB and you'll do the same thing with the starless or stars images. So select your HA, select your O3, So since we didn't apply a stretch to this originally, you can now mess with the stretch. I like to just kind of start out pretty high. Woof, that's a little too much. It's a little better. Maybe a little less. Let's, I guess, put it back down to what it was. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Let's mess with the ratio here. Okay. Let's just leave it at that. Send the preview to Siril words. Now what I like to do here, I like to take the color saturation, leave it on global, and just dial it way back. That way you can kind of get more of a white color to them. And they're not super awkward looking, super blue looking. Click apply. Now I will also run a remove green noise on this one, just to kind of keep it, you know, like this looks much nicer than it did with the bright, weird cyan looking stars and the blood red. Yeah. Anyways, so now call that good. Save that as the stars underscore RGB. Save it as a FITS file. Click save. Now you will come up to star processing, star recomposition. It'll close the current image, but that's irrelevant. Now you'll select here, just in case. So you have your background, your starless image on the left and your star image on the right. You'll come up, click this folder, or this button right here. It says none with the folder. You click it. Find your starless RGB. Open that up. And since you already have a stretch applied to it, don't mess with the background histogram or the star histogram unless you want to kind of finagle it a little bit more. Let's see what it looks like first. Open it up. And I actually think that looks quite nice the way it is. Maybe stretch the stars a skosh more. So like, you don't want that. Honestly, right about there looks good. Apply, and then close. So, and here you go. That is a final image processed through Siril. I don't think it looks too bad, but it was kind of a quick little process run. So it's not the best I've done, but it's also definitely not the worst I've ever done. So overall, not too unhappy with it. I want to go ahead and thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will get to them as soon as I can. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.